I'll just ask everyone to find their way to their seats, and just let you know that for those of you that are further back in our commons area, there's plenty of seating back there, and there's also monitors that are there so that you can see the proceedings, and we've got sound so you can hear. We'll be starting very shortly.
Excuse me, we're going to be starting shortly, but for those of you sitting or standing at the back, there are tables with chairs just behind you if you want to sit there, and then there's also seating up top here as well. So for everyone standing in the back, you can go in the tables, there's monitors there, so you could sit down there, and you're going to see everything just as if it was, you were right up front here, okay?
Welcome everyone to Centennial College's Downsview Campus, our Center for Aerospace and Aviation. What a day today. What do you think of the view behind me? Yeah. So I want to thank you all for coming to this wonderful event. My name is Alan McClelland, and I'm the Dean for the School of Transportation, one of the two schools that's co-located in this historic building. I will be introducing my colleague Patrick Kelly, Dean of the School of Engineering, Technology, and Applied Science in a few moments, but let me begin by explaining the significance of our announcement and event today. For decades, Torontonians traveled around the periphery of Downsview Park with little knowledge of what the land encompassed. Viewed at night from space, it was largely a dark field in the middle of an illuminated city. But with the opening of Centennial Center for Aerospace and Aviation, I'm proud to say that we'll be bringing both light and life to where there was little previously, thanks to our rehabilitation of the historic de Havilland site as the new home of our aerospace and aviation programs. Our campus will also anchor the future home of Ontario's aerospace hub that will incubate innovation and drive new investments in aerospace technology and manufacturing, a major driver of industrial activity in Toronto, Ontario, and Canada. Of course, the significance of the industry that was situated here 80 years ago to aid Canadian and Allied forces fighting in the Second World War cannot be overstated. With the exception of Alexander Graham Bell's historic workshop in Baddeck, Nova Scotia, this may be the most important place in Canadian aviation history. The Moth hangar is across the street from us. Mosquitoes were built here during the Second World War. Twin Otters were built here before it was transferred to Spar. You could say this is hallowed ground, a special place. And our team at MJMA Architects and Stantec, they pledged to restore it with care. With a total investment of $72 million plus numerous donations from industry and individuals, our campus is much more than just a replacement for our Ashnaby campus hangar and aviation program space. Our new campus forms the first phase of Ontario's aerospace hub that will centralize other facilities, including the University of Toronto Institute for Aerospace Studies and an innovation center to bring academic and industry partners together to pursue new research and development initiatives under the auspices of Downsview Aerospace Innovation and Research Consortium, or DAIR. As I reflected this morning, back in 2012, when a small group of us walked through this space just to see if there was potential, and looked at space that was really no longer being used for aviation, we saw that there were possibilities. And when you tour the building shortly, you'll see it wasn't easy to selectively demolish and renovate a building that first took root in 1929 and grew organically with additions and sheds built as needed. What we inherited with this building was a patchwork of workshops, offices, and storage facilities, and with the numerous ramps that are around here, you'll see that the floors didn't even line up, whether it be on the first floor or the second floor. As you can imagine, it was quite an ordeal to create some continuity in this building, with the number of stairs and ramps minimized where we could. The old hangar had posts that were every 40 feet, and you'll see some of them behind you in this very space we're in right now. And without those columns removed, current aircraft would not fit in the new space. But working in partnership with MJMA, with Stantec, with the faculty and staff in the aviation department, in CTAS, Donald Wang's team, Tracy Britton's team, it was amazing to see something come together that both met our needs and honored the history that's in this space. And so as you look around, as you appreciate what you see today, it is functional, It is built for the purposes that we intend to use it, and it honors the great history that Canada has in aviation and aerospace. But beyond this building, the School of Transportation has history of its own. Centennial inherited the old Provincial Institute of Allied and Automotive Trades back at Bay Street in Wellesley back in 1968. Centennial would open its second campus, Ashtonby, the following year by making use of a Volkswagen Canada facility on Warden Avenue. We soon began planning construction of a larger building next to it, which opened in 1972, complete with a hangar built to industry standards. Transport Canada liked the space and the way we delivered training to AMEs and gave our programs their first official Transport Canada accreditation, making Centennial among Canada's first colleges to earn AME accreditation. In addition to the aviation programs, we are the largest trainer of automotive technicians in Canada, one of the largest in North America, the largest transportation training facility, whether it's automotive, whether it's truck coach, whether it's heavy equipment. And with this new facility allows us to meet the needs of industry in the future for both aviation and aerospace here as this site blossoms, and then expand what we do for the rest of ground transportation at Ashtonby Campus, where we have a history and a legacy of strong programs. But enough about my school. I have a colleague here, Patrick Kelly, who has equally exciting programs and opportunities, and I need to give him time to tell you about what those are and why our two schools have joined together on this amazing facility we have here. And so with no further ado, I'll introduce Patrick.
Thank you, Alan, and welcome everyone. One of the many reasons I'm excited about our new Downsview Aerospace Campus is that it represents the first time the School of Engineering, Technology and Applied Science is partnering so closely with our friends in Centennial's well-regarded School of Transportation. We are doing so for one overarching reason. Employers are looking to us for new expertise demanded by industry. Needless to say, the new technology is changing everything we're doing, and the colleges, all institutions, have to adapt to the new means of production. Continuing on this theme of change, the Industry 4.0 initiative, commonly referred to as the Fourth Industrial Revolution, marks a major shift from the labor-intensive manual processes that once defined manufacturing to the new systems that are now digitized, automated, and even cognitive. A recent article in the American Society of Mechanical Engineers Journal underscores how automation and the move to Industry 4.0 is transforming manufacturing. This article examines the deburring process at a Pratt & Whitney production facility. Up until recently, a team of 6 highly skilled workers manually deburred Pratt & Whitney's turbine casings. They used their eyes and sense of touch to identify a raised edge or other imperfections left on the part after it was manufactured. Each component took 6 hours to manually grind and polish before assembly in the engine. The team finished only about 30 a month. Quality control, not to mention ergonomics, lacerations, and other workplace safety issues always needed to be managed. Today, the only time a technician touches the turbine casings is to load and unload it from the robotic deburring machine. It's one of the many CNC machines Pratt & Whitney uses to turn, mill, and grind furnished parts for the company's geared turbofan jet engines. The robotic machines help the aerospace company improve key metrics, production volume, quality assurance, cycle time, to name a few, by up to 65%. That's a very significant gain in productivity that helps the company stay competitive in a highly global industry. For colleges like Centennial, we have to acclimatize to this new reality and support manufacturers to make these transitions and adopt the latest technologies by graduating people with industry-relevant skills. It's robotics specialists that adjust the CNC machines for accuracy and consistency and program their visual guidance system to precisely identify the orientation, position, and shape of each part being autonomously machined. I'm delighted to tell you that the Centennial College is graduating these types of specialists through my school's 2 new offerings in aerospace manufacturing, a 2-year engineering technician program and a 3-year engineering technology program. You will find our impressively outfitted laboratories at the other end of the campus, where students learn to program machines and robotic arms to shift heavy components around in what is essentially a simulated, world-class manufacturing environment specifically geared to the aerospace sector. We did this because manufacturers like Bombardier are moving rapidly into robotics because they have to stay competitive. It's an economic imperative, and we here at Centennial have seized upon this opportunity and embraced these new tools. The fact that we get to do it in a repurposed historic building tied to Canada's aviation legacy and our nation's proud war effort is icing on the cake. Please accept our invitation to walk through our halls and laboratories, and be sure to take the time to examine the old photo murals depicting the history that has unfolded here. With this dedicated campus, we are well on the way to making our own new history. At this time, we'd like to get our formal presentations underway. I would like to begin with a land recognition and remind everyone that we are on the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and pay tribute to their legacy and the legacy of all First Peoples of Canada as we strengthen ties with communities we serve and build the future through learning and through our graduates. Today, the traditional meeting place of Toronto is still home to many Indigenous people across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work in communities that have grown in the treaty lands of the Mississaugas. We acknowledge that we are all treaty people and accept our responsibility to honor our relations. In addition to being the treaty lands of the Mississaugas, we also situated on property managed by Canada Lands Company, a federal crown corporation. It is my pleasure to introduce John McBain, President and Chief Executive Officer of Canada Lands Company, who has come from Ottawa to join us today. Mr. McBain's career in real estate spans over 30 years and includes position as Assistant Deputy Minister, Real Property Branch at Public Works and Government Services Canada, and Director Asset Management, National Client Service Director for Canadian Heritage, Parks Canada, and Human Resources Development Canada. Please welcome Mr. McBain.
Thank you, Patrick, for that introduction. What an amazing day. It's wonderful to see so many of you here. Honored guests and fellow enthusiasts of Centennial College. Like Patrick, I would like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and Wendat peoples, and further acknowledge this land is now home to many diverse nations, Inuit and Métis people. It is my distinct pleasure on behalf of the Board of Directors of Canada Lands Company, management and staff, to welcome Centennial College to Downsview. For those who do not know us, we are a federal crown corporation, as Patrick said. We are mandated to manage special assets, as well as reintegrate surplus federal properties into communities. In 2013, the federal government asked Canada Lands to assume ownership and management of Downsview, and we are both humbled and excited by this opportunity. In addition to investing in the preservation of the 250-acre park, we also plan and manage the development of the surrounding lands outside the park. After D&D left Downsview, a vision was created that included an urban park surrounded by 5 communities with a central core called the Cultural Common. That would be a beating heart of activity, provide for recreation, education, institutional, and cultural uses. These are the key elements of creating a vibrant community. And in that latter capacity, I am pleased to compliment and congratulate Centennial College. Ann Buller, Andrew Petru, Deans McClellan and Kelly, Brad Chapman, Shannon Brooks, and of course the Board of Governors for your realization of a vision to create an aerospace center unique in Canada, here at the heart of our aerospace history. And congratulations are also in order for your upcoming retirement. We are particularly appreciative of your leadership with regards to this facility and the collaboration we have enjoyed with you. Thanks to you. Thanks to your commitment, Centennial is well positioned for the future. We are also very excited about the potential for the new aerospace hub. We look forward to working with Centennial College, Ryerson University, University of Toronto, and other partners to grow this capacity. In closing, I would say we are delighted, more than delighted, to have the vision and innovation of your program, the quality and architecture of your facility, and importantly, the energy and vitality of your students join us here at Downsview. Welcome.
John, thank you so much for your kind words and wishes. Like many public institutions, Centennial College is guided by its Board of Governors, made up of 12 volunteers appointed from the external community, as well as 4 elected reps from the campus community representing our students, faculty, support staff, and administration. Chairing our board is Scott Allison. Mr. Allison is a business leader with more than 30 years of experience in the hospitality and travel industry. He has a track record of growing businesses, sales and marketing leadership, people development, and change management. Mr. Allison currently serves on the college's Policies and Procedures Committee, as well as being a member of the Executive Committee. Everyone, please welcome Governor Scott Allison.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to finally be here to take in all the wonder and history of this place that is so closely tied to Canada's aviation heritage. As Patrick mentioned, you will see some amazing photo murals depicting de Havilland's contributions to the war effort on this very site. One surprising fact about this building is that it also played a major role in our country's embryonic space program in the early 1960s. The Special Products Division of de Havilland of Canada and Avro Canada's Applied Research Unit were partially situated right here. Special Projects was best known for the construction of the Alouette 1 satellite that launched into orbit in 1962, making Canada the 4th nation to put its own satellite into space. The Brits had beaten us by just a few months. Interesting bit of trivia, if you allow me to geek out a little bit. Sales and marketing people like to geek out just to pretend we can. The name Special Products and Applied Research was shortened to SPAR, and SPAR Aerospace became a Canadian pioneer in its own right with the development of the Canadarm robotic manipulator that graced NASA's space shuttles. It's okay to be excited about air flight and space exploration. If you're of a certain age, and I am, you will remember gathering around the television to hear Walter Cronkite explain the latest rocket launch and watch the surprisingly clear video of astronauts bouncing around the moon's surface. Flying has always been the stuff of dreams, and we've been fortunate enough to witness flight becoming a highly commoditized and, more importantly, very safe way to travel. As Alan noted, I come from the hospitality industry, although I did spend a number of years at Ward Air, and Max Ward got his first airplane in this very facility. But I can tell you that nothing has boosted the travel sector, more than convenient and reliable air travel, which relies on the men and women gathered here to learn the technology that keeps our aircraft afloat. Centennial Center for Aerospace and Aviation has been a long time in coming. We had a lot of discussion at board meetings about this facility. When I joined the Board of Governors in 2014, and the college had already had plans well underway, and we had captured the attention and the imagination of some important people in Ottawa and at Queen's Park. In his 2012 review of the Canadian aerospace industry, the Honourable David Emerson identified a need for an aerospace training and research hub in Ontario to maintain Canada's strong ranking in the industry. with literally trillions of dollars of new aircraft required to update worldwide fleets, he recognized that an important innovation hub at Downsview would have a big role to play. Our board members watched Andrew Petru, who you will hear from shortly, seize this opportunity and pitch it tirelessly to government people at every opportunity. President Ann Buller was a big supporter of his efforts, knowing it would take an incredible perseverance to promote such a bold idea. But they did it, and we're sitting in the middle of their audacious vision today. I wish to thank Ann and Andrew, not to mention a cast of thousands of others, for their dedication to this exciting new chapter in Centennial's future. Downsview represents our 5th major campus in Toronto. I think it's fair to say Ontario's first college, established by a forward-looking education minister by the name of Bill Davis, has truly grown wings. At this juncture, I thought it would be appropriate to mention to those of you who don't know yet, and John, you mentioned it, that Anne will be retiring from the college at the end of May. So in a sense, this building is her swan song. I've come to know Anne very well over the past 5 years, and I have to tell you that she continues to impress me each and every day. With boundless optimism and energy, Anne ushered in an era of comprehensive institutional change when she was chosen to lead Centennial in 2004, and she's never lost her momentum. Anne sought and found enthusiastic support for her ideas, and by working together, the Board of Governors watched this college propel itself forward by tapping enormous reserves of energy and confidence many didn't know we possessed. Anne brought out the good in all of us. Just look how far we've come, Anne. It really is remarkable. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for all that you have done to ignite the passion and to rally us forward. This building will stand as a legacy to your unwavering vision and leadership. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor Allison, for your thoughtful speech and recollection of the early days of space exploration. This was such an exciting time for so many of us. Next, I'd like to introduce Ann Buller, President and CEO of Centennial College. Ann has been our leader and champion for the past 15 years, but she first started with Centennial 30 years ago. Now, she did take a brief sojourn to work at Nova Scotia Community College for a few years, but trust me when I tell you that Anne lives and breathes Centennial. A college graduate herself, Ann Buller shaped the community college model into a dynamic and responsive post-secondary institution that truly does transform lives, much as its architect and godfather Bill Davis had envisioned. Anne helped to burnish our reputation and spread it around the world. Today, Centennial delivers education without borders. Everyone, please extend a warm welcome to President Buller.
I have to say, just a personal thank you so much for being here. Those of you who've been close to this project know that it has been a journey, an unbelievable journey, and it is just such an honor to stand here in this incredible facility today. Somebody mentioned it was hallowed ground, and I think that those of us who've been waiting for the doors to open really, really feel that connection. So, and thank you, Scott, for your lovely words. You know, it's not the bricks and mortars that I think I'm going to think of as part of my legacy, but it's the people at this institution. It's their passion, it's their tenacity, it's their commitment. And it's to our students who've studied and worked in all of our campus. You know, buildings are just buildings, and then you bring the people in, you bring the students in, and you watch the heart beat. We welcomed students here at the start of the semester on January 7th, after our faculty moved heaven and earth and aircraft and equipment from the small hangar in Ashtonby to where we are today. I have to say thank you so much to the faculty and support staff and administrators who gave up that break that's supposed to happen, we call Christmas and New Year's, and who spent their time here getting ready to welcome students into this amazing space. I know the students, some who are with us today, have expressed so much excitement about this building, and it's amazing. Those who aren't from Canada or aren't from the community, when they learn the history of this building, they just automatically feel such a connection to it. So as part of opening the building, we went shopping for some newer aircraft to refresh our fleet. Among the planes that landed on the runway just outside of our property were a Cessna Citation II corporate jet, a Cessna Conquest 425 twin-engine turboprop, 2 Piper Senecas, and no less than 4 Cessnas 172s. And I have to say, I have a running joke at the college that I love surprises when they involve wine, chocolate, flowers, or shiny things, but I'm going to add airplanes. One of the really kind of hidden treasures at this campus is actually our unique green roof. Our friend Daryl Dahmer, who is an accomplished photographer as well as a pilot and a reporter, snapped a picture of that roof, and you'll see it. And from space right now, it just looked like it's all brown. And those of you who know me well know, like, brown's not really a color I do. But give it a little while, and it's going to be filled with succulents and other green plants. And so when you're coming into land at Pearson, look out the window. Because if your flight path takes you over here, you're going to see the fantastic Centennial logo on the roof, our new corporate identity from space. Of course, our campus wouldn't have been feasible without the incredible, outstanding support of industry. Just as Canada's vehicle manufacturers have supported apprenticeship and done so much for our school of transportation in the past, the aviation aerospace industry has supported us with aircraft and equipment and training aids to ensure students are the best prepared they can possibly be. So if I started to list all of the presents that we received, I would be here for a very long time, but I need to highlight some of the really quite magical gifts. Earlier this morning, some of us gathered in this beautiful room upstairs for the naming ceremony of our new boardroom after a very special man, Bruce McRitchie. As an aviator, technician, salesman, entrepreneur, Bruce has seen it all in Canada's aviation industry. Best line I heard at that event this morning is that Bruce believes cars are just the things that take you to airplanes. Bruce, would you mind standing up for a moment? I've lost you. Bruce had long established aviation technician scholarships at Centennial in memory of his late brother, Douglas, but he returned to furnish the college with new gifts. It's our largest donation by a private individual, amounting to more than $1 million worth of aircraft, engines, equipments, and funds. Thank you so much. I know that our students have been thrilled to inspect the 2 beautiful Piper Warriors, and they're every bit as appreciative as we are. And please, you need to stop in and visit us whenever you're around. This is your home. And I know already this morning they were booking him for lectures for the students, so we really want to keep taking advantage of your wonderful generosity. Helicopters also play a vital role in Canadian airspace, and I'm pleased to let you know that we've received significant gifts in the form of retired aircraft from 2 major helicopter operators, the Canadian Coast Guard and the Orange Air Ambulance Service. The Coast Guard has given Centennial one of its Messerschmitt twin-engine helicopters, a reliable workhorse, that has performed countless rescues at sea. Orange has similarly gifted a retired Sikorsky S-76 turbo helicopter, which was used for life-saving flights all over the province. Our thanks to both community-minded organizations for making these thoughtful contributions to Ontario's first college. I also wish to recognize the support of a huge industry leader, Bombardier Aerospace, for their outsized backing of Centennial College. Back in 2012, Bombardier and Centennial signed a memorandum of understanding that designated Centennial as the college of choice for aircraft trainer. It marked the beginning of a beautiful friendship and one that has culminated in what we have today. We're not only friends, we're now neighbors. My Bombardier colleagues, Mr. Martin Herman and Mr. Fred Cromer, will have more to say shortly. I'd also be remiss if I did not mention a very important contribution by Safran Landing Systems, which is currently engaged with the college. Students and faculty are busy researching its electrified landing gear project, important work that will eventually see aircraft makers adopt lighter electric components in place of heavy hydraulic systems to lower and raise landing gear. Applied research is a growing activity for the college sector because it employs students in a meaningful way and provides an unbelievable service to our industry partners. Thanks to this and other projects, Centennial is currently ranked 7th in Canada in applied research. If any employers are here today looking for research assistance, just stop by and chat with us. We'd love to chat with you. And in late-breaking news, I'm delighted to announce that we're receiving a check today from the US-based Gene Haas Foundation. A founding member of Haas Automation Incorporated, Managing Director Peter Zerhut, has brought us a US check for $250,000, which works out to about 335,000 Canadian dollars. That incredible donation will support our CNC labs and the School of Engineering, Technology, and Applied Science. Take some time today to walk through the labs and see some of this technology at work. And finally, I want to acknowledge the strong funding support we've had from 2 levels of governance. And there's been some illusion today about how long this project took just because of its complicated venue. We actually were given $18.4 million in strategic investment funds from Ottawa, pledged by the Conservative government under Prime Minister Harper, as well as the Ontario government, who gave us an infusion of almost $26 million, and that's what made this campus become a reality. So it's really interesting to note that since we first proposed Downsview, we've had both Liberal and Conservative governments at provincial and federal levels look at this project and say, this is not a political investment, this is a social and economic inclusion investment. And we're absolutely delighted by that and so grateful to all of the governments, Premier Ford's, Premier Wynn's, Prime Minister Harper's, and Prime Minister Trudeau's for getting us where we are today. So, yeah. And I don't know this, but I'm pretty sure that the Greens and the NDP would love us too. It's in our mandate at Centennial to reflect the communities we serve with strong education and training programs that give young people and adults returning for a second career the skills they need to join the aerospace industry in Ontario. All of you here today know this, which is why our hangars and our labs are brimming with aircraft and equipment. From the bottom of my heart, thank you to all of our partners in the DAIR Consortium, in the industry, in academia, and in the community, who have rallied around this idea we've had for such a long time. Thank you for being here as we open the doors. It's such an exciting time at this college, and we're delighted that you've been with us on the journey. Thank you for your support, and I feel like in my own journey here, I feel like someone's just said, we've landed. Thank you.
And thank you so much for recognizing people and organizations that contributed significantly to this audacious dream. We have to find another way to thank the legions more that were involved in advancing this magnificent project to completion, because so many people's hands were on this and so many people's hearts were in it. I mentioned Centennial's growing influence in the world. Someone once sent us a photo of a bus on a rural road in northern India with a Centennial College ad on the back panel. But we have remained true to our primary market, our local residents and employers. A key part of our community outreach involves forging relationships with community leaders who can help guide the college's efforts. With that in mind, I'd like to introduce a few local representatives whose governments help Centennial bring this campus to the forefront. Let me begin by having Michael Levitt, Federal Member of Parliament for York Centre, come to the podium. Mr. Levitt serves as Chair of the House of Commons Foreign Affairs Committee and Chair of the Canada-Israel Interparliamentary Group. Please welcome MP Michael Levitt.
Thank you very much, Alan. My name is Michael Levitt. I'm the Member of Parliament for York Centre. Today I'm a very, very proud Member of Parliament for this community in York Centre. This is proof positive of the adage that when people work together, great things happen. It really is. Just take a look around at what has been built here and the difference this is making to so many people. No, literally, take a look around. It's incredible. This backdrop behind me, the planes, the helicopters, the opportunities this is going to raise for generations to have access to what's been built here and what we're celebrating today. As the MP for York Centre, I've been waiting for this day for a number of years, when we could finally say that Centennial's Aerospace Campus is officially open and that Downsview continues to be a hotbed of aerospace innovation. I know this region is a great place for innovation. It's a dynamic community with tremendous growth potential, and it's a great place for researchers to flourish. Just over there, an amazing piece of Canadian innovation is manufactured at Bombardier's assembly plant. None of it would be possible without the hard work and ingenuity of Canada's engineers, technicians, and skilled workers. We are second to none in aerospace innovation. Of course, our post-secondary institutions are a point of great pride in this regard. And now we get to add another campus to our roster of educational excellence. A leader in academia at all levels of learning, Toronto is a progressive, education-focused city with one of the most highly educated populations in the world. And our hosts here at Centennial are key players in this city. I'm proud that Downsview will soon be the home of an aerospace innovation hub to continue this tradition of innovation and excellence in Canada's aerospace advanced manufacturing sectors. It is our history, it is our present, and it is most definitely our future. This campus is a key part of that plan, and none of this would be possible without the staff, faculty, and students right here at Centennial who have worked so hard to get this campus open. I had the incredible honor of walking through here about 6 or 8 weeks ago and spending time with the faculty and the students. And I've got to tell you, I don't know who was more excited, the faculty or the students. With every machine, they wanted to show me an additional piece of equipment that was only available here. This is an absolutely tremendous opportunity for all of the students and faculty involved. I know that students have been here and classes have been running for several months already, but this is a momentous occasion today to celebrate and support our aerospace sector and our educational institutions in the province and in the city. I want to thank our federal government and the commitment of the ministers and, of course, our Prime Minister for all that they've done to bring the federal funds to the table. But I also want to thank, as Anne mentioned, the efforts of our province and our representative, Roman Babers, here today, our city councillors, James Pasternak, and Deputy Mayor Michael Thompson is here today. And I also want to recognize Maria Ojimeri, the outgoing city councillor for this area, who was very active in making this a reality today. So with that, I just want to thank all of you for being here. For where I'm standing out here, this is a remarkable day for Downsview, for Toronto, for Ontario, and for Canada. Thank you very much.
Michael, thank you so much. I'd like to introduce Roman Baber, Member of Provincial Parliament for York Centre, to come to the stage. Mr. Baber serves on the Standing Committee for Government Agencies, in addition to serving on the Justice Policy Committee. He was also appointed as a member of the Select Committee on Financial Transparency. Please welcome MPP Roman Baber.
Wonderful. Good morning, Madam President. I'm so honored to be here today as the local member of Provincial Parliament to mark this significant milestone for Centennial College. I'm also pleased to bring greetings on behalf of Dr. Marilee Fullerton, Minister of Training, Colleges and Universities, and our entire provincial government. Colleges play a critical role in post-secondary education. They educate and train the workers, innovators, and leaders needed for the changing economic landscape. To this end, Ontario made a significant investment of almost $26 million to support Centennial College's dream of building this magnificent center of aerospace and innovation and aviation. I also want to thank the various stakeholders and partners, our federal partners, led by my MP, Mr. Michael Levitt, our municipal partners with my city councilor, James Pasternak, our former local city councilor who was so instrumental in getting this facility going, Ms. Maria Jumeri, and to the industry stakeholders, Bombardier and other partners who were so instrumental in fulfilling this dream. This brand new development represents a new and renewed horizon and opportunity for Centennial, furthering its position as a leader in avionics, aircraft maintenance, and aerospace manufacturing education. This new campus brilliantly repurposes the de Havilland building and recaptures the site's history of aerospace innovation. It will be home to new ideas and train next generation of aerospace innovators. This will become a cutting-edge, world-class facility right here in Ontario, and to my personal delight, in the riding of York Centre, which I'm so blessed to represent. This is a jewel for our local community. It's beautiful, and it's just the beginning. We hear that students need heads-on learning opportunities to be job-ready. We hear from employers the real challenge of identifying and recruiting people with necessary skill sets and experience. And here at Centennial, students will find opportunities to get the requisite training and experience to enter the workforce. The opportunities the students will get here are critical to the future of our economy and the prosperity of our province. You should be incredibly proud of your success. Ontario's government is excited to be part of this important project and to work together with all of you. The opening of this Aerospace and Aviation Innovation Center represents a new beginning for the college and our province. For many, flight and aviation is what dreams are made of, and looking at this magnificent accomplishment is a dream come true. I wish all of you the best of luck, and I thank you sincerely for allowing me to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roman. I'd like to now introduce Toronto City Councillor for York Centre, James Pasternak, who will introduce our Deputy Mayor, Michael Thompson.
Well, thank you very much for that introduction. It's great to see my colleagues from other levels of government, MP Michael Levitt, and of course MPP Roman Baber, and of course my colleague at City Council, Deputy Mayor Michael Thompson. And I can tell you firsthand that great things happen when all levels of government work together. For me, it is an honor and pleasure, exciting to be here today to welcome to the new Ward 6 of the City of Toronto Centennial's College Downsview Campus. In the process of inheriting 50,000 new residents last summer, the revision of the ward system in Toronto, I also inherited this remarkable facility, a center of learning, innovation, technology, and science. And it is truly a pleasure to be here inside this great hall, filled with so much talent and so much potential. I can think of few greater responsibilities than to be in Downsview today to celebrate the continued tradition of academic excellence and civil aviation, a place where young minds can excel and where we can see firsthand the creation of a new generation of aeronautics. I toured the nearby Bombardier facilities some time ago. I do remember at the time my tour guide pointing to an executive jet and said, by the way, Oprah bought 2 of those recently. And I was tempted to ask, was that cash or credit? Living nearby, I've watched for 30 years as the remarkable aircraft have taken off from the runway here. It has truly been an experience. Canada is a vast country with a rich history. Embedded in that history is aeronautics and aviation. It is only through Canada's great innovations in aviation, flight, and aeronautics that we have been able to shrink the distances among our diverse peoples and advance the concept of community through flight. This college, among many, ensures our city with no closed doors, with no glass ceilings, and opportunities for all who seek them. In order to remain a city of high purpose, we need the rising talent that graduates from our post-secondary institutions. We need the private and public sector and inquisitive minds to come together to do great things. We make our world safer, more prosperous, and innovate when we create. The burden to make Toronto remain a healthy and prosperous place is great. Over half Torontonians are not born here, Many face language, cultural, and religious barriers, barriers to employment, and barriers to the access of capital. No one here today, and certainly not your local government, can tackle and solve these social challenges alone. But today's celebration and Centennial's remarkable track record of attracting a culturally diverse student population proves together we certainly can solve it. Our city's success is not embedded in a historical culture revolution, but rather the appeal to knowledge and education. We did not have in our shared experience the call to arms, but rather the calling on our creativity and innovation. The truths that we share and the values we build on leads to the civility that we cherish. And higher education and the great things that will come from this campus will not only produce assets for employment, but find minds to build a country that we cherish and a city that we love. Thank you very much. I have one more task before leading the podium. I'd like to now introduce Toronto Deputy Mayor and Chair of the Economic and Community Development Committee and Co-Chair of the Downsview Aerospace Campus Committee, Councillor Michael Thompson.
Thank you very much, James. Fantastic job. Thank you. President Buller, thank you so much. And I know it's been acknowledged already that you are leaving us, but not really leaving us because you will still be around. Your leadership has just been absolutely amazing. We've all been the beneficiary of that, both in terms of government, but I think most importantly, the students have been the real beneficiary from all around the world. So thank you for what you've done for us. Protocol has already been established. All of our guests and VIPs have been announced. So in the interest of time, I will just simply go on to my remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am thrilled. In fact, I'm really excited and honored to actually be with you here celebrating this amazing milestone. This is such a remarkable journey, and what we see in front of us and the future bodes so well for the entire country. In 2013, Toronto City Council recognized aerospace as a key economic sector that has positioned Toronto as a world leader in innovation, while showcasing our highly skilled and educated workforce. I was proud to co-chair the Aerospace Campus Working Group that was launched with a mandate to bring together the stakeholders to encourage us to work hard to develop the Downsview Hub. I'm honored that I'm with my colleague and former colleague and co-chair of the Aerospace Campus. Maria Ajameri has worked really hard as local councillor, the previous local councillor, but the work that you've done with respect to Downsview and the community and the work that we've done together as part of the committee co-chairs, that has been remarkable, Maria, and I wanted to simply ask you to stand, and ladies and gentlemen, let's acknowledge former Councillor Maria Zameri. Thank you. The success we are celebrating here today builds on a legacy of almost 100 years of aerospace production and development here at Downsview. It is as a result of this close collaboration between the City of Toronto, Centennial College, Canada Lands Company, the federal and provincial governments, and members of DAIR Consortium, whose commitment has turned the Downsview Aerospace campus concept into the reality that we're witnessing here today and will play a great role in the future of aviation in our country. And it is with some sadness, though, that I must say, because you're moving the aerospace facility from Ashton being my ward to this great facility. But I must say that We're happy that this particular facility and showcasing aviation for our city and our province and country, this is for the greater good. So we wish you good love from my community to the now Downsview area where Councillor Pasternak and the other members who are from the provincial and federal government will be able to be the advocates and stewards in the immediate area. But we're all advocates and stewards for this aerospace consortium and the development of this wonderful facility. The new hub is anticipated to improve the competitiveness of Toronto and Canada aerospace sector in a number of ways. First, it will act as a catalyst to the cluster development, which is proven to increase collaboration and innovation between industry and academia. It will provide access to a highly qualified labor market by bridging the gap between the organizations that educate people and those who hire. Because this is about jobs, it's about opportunity, it's about prosperity, it's about growth. It's about making our lives better through the use of education and obviously the opportunity of being able to have a good job at the end of the day. And so I say to the students who are in the audience and the teachers, congratulations. To you who are gaining much, we expect great things from. And I see in your eyes, and I see a young woman that I'd met earlier this morning who told me that she had a desire to be a doctor. But when she was introduced to aviation, she decided to change her mind. And I saw in her eyes today what this dream is all about, because it is extremely important. It will boost SMEs and supply chain development by making it easier for current and aspiring suppliers to connect with our OEMs and other hubs participants. Finally, it will attract foreign investment and strengthen Toronto's reputation globally as a leader in aerospace sector. And this is only one chapter of the rich history of aerospace at Downsview. There are many exciting chapters to come as work continue on additional elements of the campus, including the Innovation Center and the relocation of U of T's Institute of Aerospace to Downsview. So, as we celebrate this important milestone, let us all reiterate our collective commitment to the complete build-out of the Downsview Aerospace Campus as a center for advanced manufacturing, innovative research, and technological development. A place where industry, academia, government institutions come together to a position to ensure that our stake in the future of aerospace development for the next 100 years will be strong and healthy and prosperous for all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you both, James and Michael, for your kind remarks. President Buller made a reference to our strengthening relationship with our friend and neighbor, Bombardier Commercial Aircraft. We've been training their assembly workers for several years now, and this proud Canadian company has repaid us many times over. Through the backdrop that's behind me, you can see the results of our partnership and collaboration and how we and our students have benefited from this. Bombardier has been present in Ontario for decades with more than 6,200 employees working in both aerospace and rail. I only look to my own family, to 2 people that are in each of those divisions and have wonderful careers and opportunities. At this point, I would like to ask Sandra Buckler, Senior Advisor for Public Relations and Government Affairs, to introduce the next set of speakers from our valued partner, Bombardier.
Thank you, Alan, and thanks to all of you for being here today. I'm extremely honored to be here this morning to celebrate 2 important milestones: the opening of the Center of the Aerospace and Aviation Room this beautiful building we're standing in, as well as the first ever donation of a Bombardier CRJ-200 aircraft to Centennial College as our backdrop. What's exciting about this donation is that this aircraft will allow students to obtain hands-on experience, and with the CRJ series technology, it will propel them to a higher level of expertise made available through the Centennial College Aviation Education Program. And for those of you who don't already know, Centennial College has been the trainer of choice for Bombardier. Since 1970, Bombardier assemblers and aircraft maintenance workers are proud graduates of this fine institution. Our long-standing relationship is telling about the importance that we place as a company on academic partnerships. Institutions play a critical role in shaping the future generation of aerospace professionals here in Toronto that will benefit all of Canada, directly linked to the success and competitiveness of our industry. It is for this reason that Downsview Aerospace and Aviation Research Consortium was launched a few years ago. Co-founded by Centennial and Bombardier, DAIR will drive Ontario's aerospace hub forward by increasing collaborative research and development. It will accelerate technology adoption. It will also help small and medium-sized businesses scale up, but most importantly, it will address the current skills shortage facing our industry. You may remember around this time last year, Bombardier announced a multi-million-dollar financial contribution for the establishment of DAIR and the development of research and training in the Greater Toronto Area. The new Downsview Centennial College campus will serve as that anchor for the future hub currently under development. Now, I'm an extreme extrovert, and I could go on and on and on, but I really feel it's now time to share the stage with my colleagues. I'd like to first introduce Martin Herman. He's our head of legal services for Bombardier Commercial Aircraft. Having joined the company 12 years ago, Martin has been supporting our legal needs. In addition to being a lawyer, Martin is also a private pilot, and he has seen some amazing things, including CF-101 Voodoo blasting through the Laurentians north of Montreal, and he can still picture that aircraft in a left bank, sunlight on the RCAF roundels on the wings, and vapor trails coming off the wingtips. Martin is extremely passionate about all things in aviation, especially the history and stories that make up a large part of anything that flies. He's here today as one of the many Bombardier employees who helped bring this CRJ-200 aircraft to this event, and he'll also give us a little insight into the aircraft. Please join me in welcoming Herman.
I tell that story about that Voodoo, which will in part date me as well, but I still have that mental image of a beautiful aircraft in the summer in the Laurentians. I'm not going to go into how excited I am, because I think that's been a common theme, nor repeat some of the legendary status of this building. There are so many stories associated over decades, both with the building itself, the legendary aircraft that have moved through this building, and the legendary Canadian men and women who have formed part of aviation history of this country on this site. I would challenge you to really research what has taken place here over the last 80 years, since 1928. The aircraft behind us, they all have their own stories. Centennial probably now has one of the largest private air forces of Cessna aircraft in Canada, which is wonderful. But I am here because I do have a personal, somewhat connection to that CRJ-200. My team helped transact to bring the aircraft back from our customer, and also to bring it here today from the very boring legal and contract side, quite frankly. But I did want to tell you a little bit about the aircraft, because aviation stories are just wonderful. So, her story begins August 17th, 1993. When SkyWest Airlines placed one of the initial orders for CRJ aircraft. SkyWest Airlines, may surprise you, is one of the largest airlines in the world, which you've probably never heard of. They are a regional feeder for airlines such as United, American Airlines, Delta, and Alaska in the United States. But their fleet is larger than Air Canada's, if you can believe it. Her first flight took place on October 5th, 1993, and she was delivered to SkyWest and entered passenger service in January of 1994. She spent her entire operational career with SkyWest. For 17 years, the aircraft carried her passengers and crew all over North America, connecting communities and bringing people together. Day after day, she helped move the world on our collective journey through time and space. It's quite likely that some of you may have flown on this very aircraft over the years, and it's even more likely that she would have passed overhead this very site on multiple occasions on approach into or departure out of Pearson. Her logbooks reflect that she thundered down the runway on takeoff 39,603 times. She touched down on landing 39,603 times. That's a rule of aviation that even the birds have to respect. She has spent 46,219 hours in the air, carrying some 1.8 million people over an estimated 29,702,250 nautical miles. That's 5 years in the air and about 1,200 times around the Earth. I did another calculation, it's about 60% of the way to Mars. Her final flight brought her to Downsview in 2015, and her last journey being to cross the runway from the other side of the airfield to take her place just outside the hangar. She has now earned a title within aviation that is relatively rare for a commercial passenger aircraft. She is no longer listed on aviation databases as in storage, nor will she ever be listed as scrapped. Instead, she is now known as retired and preserved. I would like to extend my thanks to a number of the Bombardier commercial aircraft teams who have helped bring this aircraft here today. Our finance team, our treasury team, our sales and marketing team, the contracts and legal services team, flight operations, communications, government relations. A very special thanks to our aircraft maintenance organization and ground crews here at Downsview Airport who prepped the aircraft for today and did incredible work in moving it into its current location. In speaking with one of my colleagues as the aircraft was being moved through the parking lot, and you can see how tight the parking lot is, in January, it was a very icy day and the aircraft decided to start slipping into the building next to us. Some very quick action on the part of some of my colleagues chalked the aircraft and prevented that from happening. And our asset management team, who were instrumental in managing the logistics and the technical aspects of transitioning the aircraft out of commercial service with SkyWest, maintaining it in storage, maintaining and creating all the logistics for moving the aircraft here today and coordinating with Centennial and assisting the aircraft into its retirement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Herman. Our next speaker has 23 years of experience in the aerospace industry. I can also tell you that Fred Cromer's strong leadership skills, international experience, a deep understanding of aviation industry has made him a perfect match for Bombardier's president of Bombardier Commercial Aircraft. Since joining us in April 2015, he has and continues to make amazing and significant contributions to our company. Please join me in welcoming Fred Cromer to the stage.
Hello, everyone. I am thrilled to be here in Toronto with you today for the opening of the new state-of-the-art Centennial facility. We value our relationship within the communities where we evolve, and as part of building history, we are honored to announce that Bombardier has donated a CRJ 200 series aircraft to Centennial College. This donation represents much more than money. It is intellectual capital, a wealth of knowledge, which will contribute to the development of the students' sets of skills as they now have the possibility to get hands-on experience manipulating an advanced technology aircraft. We are proud to invest in the development of highly skilled workers for the Toronto aerospace cluster by increasing the educational value of Centennial's aerospace activities. In addition, many current highly valued employees at Bombardier Aerospace in engineering as well as in many other departments are graduates of Centennial College. These alumni are now donating their time and talent to introduce youth to the exciting world of aviation. Moreover, we know that Centennial has developed a newly revised 2-year aviation program with a new 3-year advanced diploma program and is currently providing training for Bombardier by the way of a 12-week airframe assembly training program. And this is very exciting news for us. Bombardier has always been at the forefront of innovation. Indeed, this CRJ-200 aircraft that we are donating today is part of a family that has proven to be the most successful regional aircraft program in history. With this trend-setting CRJ program, Bombardier revolutionized the travel experience and changed the way airlines built networks and connected millions of passengers as well as the communities where they live. And we are continuously challenging the status quo. Our latest atmosphere cabin and the CRJ-550 aircraft are a testament to that. We believe in the passion that the aviation industry triggers and an industry that never stops to innovate. We believe in investing in a highly skilled workforce and giving them the tools to pursue their dreams of joining the aerospace industry. As we like to say, the sky is the limit. Therefore, we believe that this gives us a fundamental role to play to act as a pillar in aerospace education in order to help you, the students who will come here, develop your capabilities and open up a world of endless opportunities. We look forward to playing a big part in the success and continued growth of Centennial College by developing, delivering, and supporting innovative products. And on a more personal note, I know there's students here. Any students, raise your hand? Got some students here? So Sandra said my career was 23 years. It's actually almost 30 years in aviation, and it's events like this that remind me that I'm still a student of this amazing industry. I wish you the best of luck and an amazing career to all of you. Thank you very much.
Our sincere thanks to our very special guest from Bombardier Commercial Aircraft. Your gift graces our compound and we get to see it every morning on the way in. It's a beautiful machine and it serves to remind us of why we're all here. Thank you. Incidentally, for those of you who don't know, City TV's Breakfast Television was on campus very early this morning, talking to students and faculty about their new campus. Host Nicole Servinis even sat in the cockpit of the CRJ and went through some of the pre-flight menus to show just how important avionics is to flight. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our very own Andrew Petru, who you may know as the tenacious Centennial representative who relentlessly pursued, originally it said dogged, but I changed it to relentlessly pursued, many government people over the past 8 years to get them to listen to our plans for Downsview. A former faculty member, Andrew rose to the occasion when President Buller tapped him to lead the initiative as our Special Projects Officer. As Downsview gained momentum, Andrew was named Director of Strategic Initiatives and External Relations at Centennial. Then he found himself at the helm of another initiative, the Downsview Aerospace Innovation and Research Consortium, or DAIR, as their Executive Director. He's gotten good at wearing two hats. Everyone, please welcome Mr. Andrew Petru.
I am speechless. All right, everybody. I'm the last before we all get to mix and mingle, but I definitely got to say thank you, Patrick. That was very kind of you. A lot of hard work and dedication has gone in to developing the state-of-the-art campus. And I would like to first acknowledge, and there's so many, for all the hard work to make this dream a reality. On behalf of DAIR, I would like to thank Centennial College, Bombardier, and all the other DAIR partners, and I see quite a few of them in the room, and especially all levels of government, for coming together to make this a reality. The new Centennial College Downsview Campus is a center for aerospace and aviation. It's just simply more than a world-class education and training facility. It's a gateway to vast job opportunities in the rapidly growing aerospace industry. Just some information for you. The Canadian Council of Aviation Aerospace estimates that there will be a need for more than 55,000 new aerospace workers across Canada by 2025. In Ontario alone, the province aerospace sector will need over 10,000 new workers in the next 6 to 7 years. Take that in. Centennial's brand new 4-acre Downsview campus has allowed the college to grow capacity at approximately from the enrollment of 300 to more than 1,000 students who will be equipped with critical skills to address the growing demand. With that in mind, our work isn't over yet. We are being challenged with fierce global competition. Our country's aerospace position is at risk, but we must continue to aggressively push forward, evolve, collaborate, and innovate. Centennial College's Downsview Campus is only one component of a large vision to create an aerospace hub at Downsview, the DAIR Hub. In consultation with Canada Lands Company, we are exploring the growth of the Downsview lands and the expansion of the DAIR Hub. Through co-location and collaboration, the DAIR Hub will bring together world-class academic institutions and industry-leading organizations to enhance workforce, skills training development, R&D, to ultimately position Canada as a world leader in aerospace. At the heart of the hub will be an innovation center. The Innovation Center offers space purposely built to support synergies between academic and government, or active collaboration, which is critical. Partners will have access to aerospace training and R&D, as I mentioned, and the key to our success, again, as I reiterate, is collaboration. We're calling on the entire aerospace community, and there's a lot of you in this room, industry organizations and academics to work together to help drive aerospace technologies and training to the next level. Finally, aerospace is a vibrant and growing industry that is ours for the taking, and the perfect conditions for growth and prosperity exist here at Downsview. I'm thrilled to see activity flourish at Downsview. Last year, as you may realize, Ryerson opened a new aerospace lab just across the street from where we stand. This year, Centennial College welcomed a record number of students. In a couple of months, Centennial, partnered with Safran and Bombardier, are moving their R&D landing gear project in electrification and lightweight of landing gears. We are focused and committed to maintaining this momentum. The Downsview legacy is ours to continue. We're ready for the future, and we hope you'll join us to drive excellence and ingenuity to defend Canada's position as a leader in aerospace. And on a personal note, I'd like to thank Scott Allison and the board for the battles we had to go through to get here. To President Buller, thank you for my wings.
Thank you, Andrew, for your warm words. Your remarkable ability to disarm people with your friendly approach and beguiling manner is truly a gift. Well, as morning turns into afternoon, we've come to the end of our official program. All that's left to do is assemble a few of our speakers and special guests here at the podium to cut the ribbon for the cameras. Before they make their way up here, I have a few parting announcements to make. First of all, please avail yourself of the food and drink on offer, created by our splendid hospitality students and faculty. Can we give them a big hand for bringing this movable feast here today? Please take the time to join one of the campus tours. The guides are knowledgeable and can tell you all about the labs and the programs and what the students are doing. Yes, this is a regular day for them. Feel free to talk to our students, our faculty, and our partners. I also want to remind you that nobody leaves empty-handed. We have a special edition Centennial College 50th anniversary book to take home, as well as a keychain we made to mark our opening day today. Please help yourself to these nice gifts. And thank you again to all of our speakers who shared the stage with us today, all of you who came bearing gifts of your own for our learners, and to everyone who's come to see Centennial build a shining light in Downsview Park. Thank you very much.